9 years ago, I learnt a new time-saving technique in Excel. I even wrote a blog post about it. But since then, I hadn't really used it until a few weeks ago, when suddenly it popped into my head as a possible solution, and since then it's been incredibly useful. And now I'm wondering, why hadn't I been using this all along? So let's go and take a look, because it might be exactly what you need. Now, I don't know where I first learned this technique. I've seen Wyn Hopkins use it several times, and it was Wyn's presentation at the Global Excel Summit that brought this back to the front of my mind. So what is this technique? Well, any long-time viewers will tell you that I am a huge fan of the filter function. And when we use filter, there are common patterns that come up over and over again, such as filtering based on a list or filtering based on a partial string. And it can be difficult to remember which functions you need to use and in which order to achieve the correct result. And this tip helps with that. Here is our example file. If you want to work along with this video, then you can get this file by following the links in the video description box below. The file has two tables. The first table is called data, which has columns of item and value. Our second table is called list, which also has a column called list. Our goal is simply to filter the values in our data table for the items in the list and then to sum those values. And we're going to do that in cell H5. This is just a standard filter based on a list scenario. We've got a previous video if you want to know more about this technique. For now, we're just using this as an example. In cell H5, I'll type equals X match, and we want to look up the values from the item column of our data table, and we want to find out whether they exist in the list column of our list table. I'll close that bracket and I'll calculate. This now gives us the numerical value of where that item exists in our list. For example, for our first item of alpha, we get the value of 1 because it's in the first position of our list. If we look at the item of Bravo, we get the number of 3 because it's in the third position of our list. Let's now change this into a true or false value. For that, we're going to use isNumber. At the start, I'll add isNumber. Then I'll close the bracket at the end. We now get true or false as to whether that item exists in our list. We can now use the filter function. At the start, I will add filter, opening bracket. The array that we want to filter is going to be our values. And then the values that we want to include is our array of true or false values, which is generated by isNumber and xmatch. I'll add a 0 for the if empty argument and then close the filter function. That now gives us a list of all the values where the item is in the list. Let's now aggregate this. I'm going to include sum. I'll close that, I'll calculate. This is the sum of everything that exists in that list. Now this is just an example. This isNumber and xmatch combination is used anytime that we want to filter based on a list. But sometimes it's difficult to remember that these are the functions and in what order the arguments should be. So what we can do is place small formula segments inside the autocomplete library, and then we can call them up at a moment's notice, and this tells us exactly which values we need to place where. So let's go take a look. We're going to start by grabbing the text that we need. I'm going to select all of the isNumber and the xmatch, and I'll press Ctrl+C to copy. Then, in an empty cell, I will paste that text. We're now going to add placeholders for each of these elements. So rather than the data table and the item column, I'm going to call this all items. And then rather than our list table and the list column, I'm going to call this list items. I can then select all of this and press Ctrl+C once more. Let's now add this into our AutoCorrect. I'll go to File, and then select Options, and then in Proofing, we have AutoCorrect Options. I'll select that. We can then say what characters we want to enter so that they are then replaced with this formula segment. I'm going to use in list. I'll then paste our formula segment. I'll click Add. There you can see it's now in our list. I'll click OK and OK again. Let's now write out our filter function. I'll type equals filter, open bracket. For the array, we're going to select our value column, and then we come to the include argument. This is where we need the isNumber and xMatch combination and the arguments in the right order. Now let's suggest I can't remember what they are, or let's suggest I'm just lazy. And that's fine, because I can simply type in list. Now the capitalization here is important, but as soon as I press space, it now generates that text for us, and all we have to do is replace our placeholders. Instead of all items, I'm going to select the item column, and instead of list items, I'm going to select the list column. I can then close my filter function as normal by using the if empty, close the bracket and calculate. We get our list of items, and we can simply wrap that in sum. And we now get exactly the same result. The tip here is not how to filter based on a list, but it's the fact that we can take a small section of a formula and add it to the autocorrect and then call it up at a moment's notice. Now, some of you might be thinking, well, why don't you use a Lambda custom function? And the truth is, I have one of those already. But how often do I use it? Almost never. It just seems like too much hassle to add that to the name manager and then use it in the formula. Instead, this method using autocorrect is fast and easy. So have you used this method? Do you think it's useful? Let me know in the comments. Thanks for watching, and I'll catch you next time.